tātou. Tēnei karakia mō tātou. Ngā kaikauni hira, mō reira, inoi tātou. Tēnei au, tēnei mātou, he kaikauni hira, he kawenga e ngā whakataunga, e ngā tikanga, ki uta, ki tai. Kia rewa ai, ngā iwi katoa, o te tai tokerau, haumi e, ui e, tāki e. Toino.
Arama me tū anua hau. Tautoko I tō parakia I te tuatahi. It's very important in our protocols that we acknowledge whoever has conducted the parakia. Rina tēnā koe. Welcome, fellow councillors. For some of us, well, for all of us, it's our first formal meeting as the Northland Regional Council. For some of us, it's our very first formal meeting of council. So, tēnā tātou, which means we're all in this together. In saying that, e hori, Steve, tēnā koutou, special welcome to you both. Great to have you along. And mauncha to our management and staff, welcome to the meeting. Waka eke noa. A whakatauki or proverb meaning we're all in this together. Tēnā koutou. To those who are online, tēnā koutou, ko haere, ko hono mai. Nā reira, while we're here in the meeting, I just want to acknowledge those who have passed on, and in particular Monty Knight, who I believe tomorrow will be his memorial service. So for those of you who will be conveying our condolences, it's very important that we stop, reflect on his service to the Northland Regional Council and the Far North District Council and our community of Northland. Nā reira, whakaaro ai mō tēnā tangata, mō te katoa o ngā mate, kia ora no tātou.
Thank you, Chair. Look, I'd just like to speak to Monty, family, and just recognise the man. It's unbelievable, eh, Toss, that this guy with this penetrating stare is no longer there to laugh and chide and stare us. And I think that stare is a word that's often used in Monty's life. He actually had the staring awe a lot. He paved this roadmap for Northland more than we realise. He was the architect of the Twin Coast Discovery Route, set up, got the Barrow Islands Airport running, katoa, did so many things like that. And Monty was just had this fantastic amount of energy. And I think I was a councillor for most of one term with him, and I sat with him and Dover Samuels, and they were just focused on getting stuff in the pipeline. And look, we were going up to the Awanui River later this week, and they were pipeline projects laid out in that time. So Monty had this vision of how Northland should develop, and influenced that development in many ways, getting all the infrastructure in that his team was most responsible. He was an amazing advocate. So personally, I miss his razor wit. He's just always had a truism, and his friendship. He was a friend to many people. Just amazing capacity for friendship. So I'm just saying that on behalf of council, and I know his family aren't here, and I'm sure others will probably speak tomorrow at his service. So just thank you for the opportunity to speak, Chair.
Kia ora tātou. Thank you, Councillor Carr, for those words. We all have our agendas in front of us, so I will go to item 3 for apologies, of which Councillor Jeb Crawford has sent his apologies. I will get a mover for that apology.
Also move Kitchen.
Councillor Kitchen and McDonald is the seconder. All in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against? That's carried. Number 4, declarations of conflicts of interest. Are there any comments on that agenda item? There being none, number 5 is confirmation of the minutes of the 5th of November.
I'll move, Chair.
I'll second.
Councillor Carr and Councillor Paul. All in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against? That's carried. 5.2 is receipt of the 23rd of September minutes. Searching for a mover. Somebody, well, no, it doesn't have to have been there. Councillor McDonald is the mover.
Yeah, happy to second it.
Thank you, Councillor Blackwell. All in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against? That is carried. Number 6 on the agenda, 6.1, is the financial report on page 20. So over to Bruce.
If you want me to move this receipt, I'll move.
Oh, I'll take that, yes.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Councillor Carr. Councillor Craw, that's the seconder. I will so Bruce House. Halfway.
Yeah, so well, it's 4 months to the end of October. Where do you want me to stand? In the middle? Yep, that's perfect. So for the 4 months to end of October, the overall financial position for council is we're ahead of budget by $525,000. This positive variance is predominantly due to net salary savings of $642,000 or $642,000, offset by about $117,000 of unfavourable variances across the whole range of rats and mice, really. Just going back to the net salary savings of 642, that represents 5.4% of our total salaries budget. But if you go to table 2 on the agenda, gross salary savings is 1.122 million for the 4 months. That is 9.5% of salaries. So we talk about turnover savings being around about, in that 9% range. That just is the figures that confirm it. Our managed fund portfolios performing extremely well. There's a little protracted graph there. So 4 months in, we've got 64% of our annual budget. So after booking our general funding requirement of around $500,000 for the first 4 months, we've actually been able to recapitalise, I think, 1.6 million more than we budgeted to recapitalise. So Haybarn looking good, but volatility's there all the time, so it's good to have.
Are you confident it'll carry on?
Oh, I tell you what I am confident on is the October returns, because I got the report yesterday. And if I annualise the returns for the month, 14% for the long-term fund, 12% for the short-term fund. So take the monthly returns, annualise it, that's what the per annum returns are for that month. So October, good. So that figure will grow leading into Christmas.
Not really a forecast, though, is it?
No, that's actual. That's actual. Subsidies. There's a big figure in the revenue line here. Grants and subsidies, 1.177 favourable. That's dominantly down to MPI funding for Kalupa, all spent. And finally, our capital expenditure program, which typically at this time of the year is a little bit behind schedule, is on schedule, ahead of schedule. And that's that's due to efficiencies, I think, more than underspend. So that's looking good as well. That's the big ticket stuff. I'm happy to take questions, but I might refer to Tucker, who has a better understanding of the transactional data, if you've got some underlying questions.
Any questions? Yes.
Okay. 2 questions. First one is a broader question just around the the restructure and how that's affecting the budget reporting. What is the plan? I presume there's a point where you do shift all of that, so it kind of aligns. So would we see that next month or?
Next annual, next annual plan, we'll have it aligned, but because we report against the original annual plan and we've done a restructure midway through, then that will be a variance that will be maintained through this financial year.
Okay, cool. So we just need to understand that, and it's just continue.
And just so people are clear, that's through the restructure, some teams were moved from one group to another group, and it just means that our budgets, where the salary and those expenses for those things haven't changed across.
Thank you. And just I guess we came for a broad comment on the biosecurity overs and unders, mostly unders. Without needing to go into too much detail, I guess just a comment on the implications of what we're seeing there in the budgets in terms of actual outcomes or outputs. Yeah, thank you.
Those variances there are heavily weighted towards what we're seeing in Kalupa and the MPI funding for that. So they'll be netted out. We're on track with that build of that equipment for Kalupa, and it's a case of just working through that schedule that we need there. So I think you'll find next reporting period that will be balanced out.
But it's essentially a phasing thing with the money coming from MPI.
It is. Yeah. It's hard to manage that given the delay. Yeah, it's taken a little while to get that funding from government.
Thank you.
John, that's question. Just on the Kalupa, Don, I noted in the reports that there was some dieback that have been experienced, which is obviously a very good thing. If, let's say, that were to continue, is there a risk that some of the funding from MPI could be withdrawn?
Not in our contract. We would finish the contract, but the contract sets out what they call a pause go or a pause stop sort of milestone, and we get to reassess that biomass in January. And then at that point, the equipment would have been built, and hopefully it would have been partly tested. And so there's some talks with MPI as to what might happen should the biomass again be very, very low in January.
Is that being experienced anywhere else in New Zealand?
Yes, there has been dieback at Aotea, or Barrier Island, and Te Ahuahu, which is Mercury Island further south. It's dieback, but not all gone. So we're still seeing some patches of it. And again, that's why with the warmer temperatures, we need another assessment a little bit later in the year.
We do have a motion in front of us. I'm going to put the motion. All in favour say aye.
Aye.
Contrary, that is carried. Simon, you should have stayed right there. Agenda item 6.2, regional rates collection. I'll look for a mover in the first instance.
Happy to move this.
Thank you, Councillor Blackwell.
I'll second.
And Councillor Hunt is the seconder. Questions or comments?
Question, Chair. So the figure that you quoted went back at the meeting when we had at Northern Rugby was about 92.5% collection. How are we tracking compared to that? Normally, have you seen an improvement or?
Largely in line.
Okay.
Last year at this time of the year, it's early days, first quarter. This time last year we were at 28.5%, and we're actually at 28.4%.
Which is very nice, yeah.
There is some commentary from the districts that suggests things are still tough. They're seeing trends of an increasing number of ratepayers that haven't been in this position before. The younger families, retirees, middle income earners. So it's a watching brief. Like I say, it's the first quarter. I'll do another report based on December, and we'll see how we're tracking.
And there was some significant geographical variances, weren't there, between KDC and Far North, for instance. So Far North, I think it seemed to be there were more people who weren't able or capable to pay the rates.
Correct.
Further questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Simon, I love the graph you got here on table 1. When you go down to the fourth line, percentage of rates arrears collected, and you get into KDC for 24-25, there's actually a 0.
Yes.
Why is that?
Because last year, I don't even recall, but KDC had issues adopting the LTP and it was late.
Oh, okay.
And so management said that they asked us if they could just pay us their current rates and then they'd have a wash up with arrears following Q2 payment.
Right. And with the collection of rates, you don't verify between, say, the business houses.
No, we
farmers?
don't.
Because that'd be quite interesting to see. Yes, because I suspect the farmers that are paying a lot of rates may be in a better position than they were last year, which means the other businesses and households are probably in a worse position than we think.
Well, that comment I mentioned about ratepayers who have not been previously in this hardship position, very, very strongly stressed from KDC.
Tired people, that's it. Thank you.
Last chance for questions on this one. Been moved by councillor Blackwell and seconded by councillor Hunt. I'll put the motion. All in favour say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Contrary, that is carried. We are up to item 7.1 and I am proposing that we put recommendations 1 through 4 on page 27 together.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Thank you, councillor McDonald and councillor Carr is the seconder. I'll just check that there are any comments or questions on those 4. There being none, all in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against? That's carried. Recommendation 5, I'll put on its own.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like, before we
Yes,
put it, I'd like to move an amendment. Just as a matter of context, not all the councillors were in the room when we had that workshop on the matter, so there was some confusion about who was putting himself up for what position. So I'd like to move an amendment that that Councillor McDonald be the chair of Natural Resources and Councillor Mooranga be the primary council member on the Climate Change Adaptation Committee. And that I think that means Councillor McDonald being the alternate of that Climate Change Adaptation Committee. Thank you.
right. So there's a mover for an amendment. Is there a seconder for that?
Yep.
Thank you, councillor Morunga. We have a proposed amendment on the floor. Comments? Councillor Carr.
Yeah, well, the reasoning for this amendment was that not all the councillors were there. Councillor McDonald wasn't there. So that's the reason. Once again, we don't have all the councillors here. I think that particular item we should lie on the table until we have all the councillors here. And we'll give a good opportunity for the new councillors to actually get to understand the abilities and the capacities of the people competing for that. So I'd like to move a procedural motion that the matter lies on the table. Our next council meeting, we've got all our members present.
I hear you, councillor Carr.
I would lead it here second.
Yes.
I'm happy to second that motion.
There is the subsequent motion that lie on the table. Are there any comments to that?
I've just got a question, Mr. Chairman, ask the CE about how would that affect the operation of those committees and parties? So are there any meetings to be held before of those relevant bodies before our next meeting?
Good Chair, through you. There are some meetings supposed to be scheduled in December for some of the joint committees. Looking at Chris as I'm speaking to see if she's nodding as I'm speaking. The working parties per se, we don't have any meetings scheduled this side of Christmas. The intention was that each of the group managers would meet with the respective chairs this side of Christmas, but we don't have any working party meetings this side of Christmas.
So my understanding then, sorry, Mr. Chairman, is that letting it lie on the table wouldn't affect the operations of the Natural Resources working party, because our next meeting would be before then. meeting of council. Is that right?
You're the chair. Just to double check, and I'm looking at Ruben as I'm speaking. If councillors wish to have further kōrero on the membership and chairing of the Natural Resources Working Party, you could approve your governance structure with the exception of that one. Let that lay on the table, and we could come back to that at the 17th of December council meeting. And I'm looking at Ruben just to make sure that there's no operational impact from that.
No operational impact.
Okay, thank you. And the second part of the question is the Climate Change Adaptation Committee. Is there any, when's its first meeting scheduled to be?
So my procedural motion is just about this one point.
Natural resources.
Oh, sorry, Joe.
Natural resources.
We hear
And
clearly.
if I could comment, I think what the CEO is proposing is workable and covers all bases.
Yeah, just with a further complication, Mr. Chairman, that if Councillor McDonald is not to be chair of the Natural Resources Committee, Working Party, it might affect the attitudes towards the Climate Change Adaptation Committee. That's the only thing. I don't see any problem in. What I'm saying is, I'd like an answer to my question first before I can make a judgment call, a vote on whether this other matter it should be passed.
Well, look, I've got a personal opinion on this one, but I'll canvass my fellow councillors in the first instance.
But I think for clarity, it would be nice if we did have an answer to when is the first meeting of the Climate Change Adaptation Committee?
Oh, look, I intend to make a decision one way or another. This is how I view the motion, is that Councillor McDonald we know where she was. She didn't have a choice in that. I'm not being disrespectful to Councillor Crawford, but he chose not to be here. So I personally want to make a decision and move on.
I'm happy to speak to it.
Yes.
So Amy did actually inform us of the committees you want to be on, and you mentioned by email that you didn't want to be on KMR. And so we did come here informed with what you wanted or didn't want. So I think that was quite clear at the time. I think with Jeff today, I mean, he's actually doing a course to prove his status as a member of this council, doing a Kellogg's course. So it's been quite a long thing. And also with Natural Resources Working Party, it's one thing that he is passionate about. But remember, Jeff actually won the Balance Farm Environmental Awards for Northland, was an ambassador for Northland. And he actually owns quite a few properties. And he doesn't just do the talk, he walks the talk. So he's known so well amongst farmers. With this fresh water, we actually need someone who's, I believe, in with the farmers and possibly can get a better point across. And this is the only portfolio that our past chair would chair. So that's another issue today. So I think Jeff is the ideal person for this position.
I hear you, Councillor Blackwell. I'm going to put the motion.
You're going to put procedure on?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
So
I am putting the procedural motion that the recommendation, the motion lie on the table. That's it. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Agree? All those against? 1, 2. So
I think it was 4.
well, I take it it's 3, 2.
I lie on the table.
Can we?
Well, I'll have a show of hands. All those in favour of the procedural motion, of which there are 4. Anybody against? 3. So the motion is 1.
Yep.
I deem the procedural motion has been passed. It will lie on the table.
Thank you.
For the next meeting, sooner than better.
I would say so,
Yes,
yes.
Chair. Just to double check what the procedural motion was. So the procedural motion, I'm just looking at your councillor card to make sure. Your procedural motion, though, only related to the Natural Resources Working Party.
Yep.
Is that right?
Cool.
So Chris, I wonder if you can just read out how that is worded, because then the Resolution 5 then still relates to all of the rest of your governance structure, just to make sure that then we then still need to go back to that with the exception of the Natural Resources Working Party.
Yes.
I'll make a suggestion. If someone else wants to move a procedural motion regarding climate change, they're most welcome to.
That's right.
Yeah, so, if you want to tidy that up, someone else might take that initiative.
Well, in regard to recommendation 5, we are now covering all the other committees, joint committees, etc., except for the one that is now going to lie on the table.
So, Mr. Chairman, what this means is that my proposed amendment is null and void because of this procedural motion. Okay, it's fine. So Joe's suggestion is a good one. So in that case, I'd be prepared to move that the position of the primary member of the Joint Climate Change Adaptation Committee lie on the table to the next meeting of council.
On see.
Thank you, Councillor Carr, seconding that motion. Did you capture that? Okay?
Yes.
In terms of procedural motions, we don't take comment or questions. We move straight. So all those in favour of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Contrary? That is carried. That tidies up that one. Thank you, Councillor Crawl. We're now back to the original motion. And do the words stay as they are?
Chair, I wonder if that resolution is just has brackets at the end of it, with the exception of the Natural Resources Working Party and the Joint Climate Change.
Take it the mover was Councillor MacDonald and Mortimer as the second. Are you both okay with that addition?
We didn't move number 5. It was with Jack Brewer
Yes.
Yeah.
and
Arama, Councillor Mortimer. Okay, are you both okay with that addition?
Sure.
Yep. Fine. Are all councillors clear on what we are now voting on in regard to number 5?
Yes.
Good. I'll put the motion then. All in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against? That is carried. We now move on to, and I will endeavour to be bold and put items 6 or recommendations 6 through to 13 together.
Oh, that's a lot.
That's a lot, but I'm testing. Certainly, they all look straightforward to me.
I'm comfortable.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Move it, please. Councillor MacDonald. Thank you. Councillor Hunt is the seconder.
That's a good question. Just a clarification. Recommendation 13, those 2 names from WDC, I presume that there's been a process by which we've been given those names.
Correct.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. I'd like to thank you, Councillor MacDonald. I was about to ask a very similar question. And what does this mean for the WDC appointees to the Whangarei Public Transport Working Party? We don't have them yet. Are they yet to be made, or was this overlooked? Yeah.
So yes, the only reason we've got RTC here is because NRC has to approve those members. We have been given Whangarei Public Transport Working Party, but they do need to they've only given us 2 members. They need to actually add a 3rd.
Oh, okay. So is there a date that we are required to have that from them? Have they been reminded?
Oh yes, they've been reminded, so they'll take it to the next meeting, and the Whangarei Transport Working Party isn't meeting till the new year, so we'll have it in time.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments? Councillor Crawford, I've only just noticed you've come on, so welcome to the meeting. And thanks for making the time for joining us virtually. We are putting through recommendations 6 through to 13 now. I'll put it to the vote. All in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against? That is carried. As far as I can see, that is all of that agenda item. So we are now up to.
Can I suggest that we update Jeff on what just happened, because he probably is quite interested.
Yeah, please do. Can you do that, please?
Kia ora, Chair. Kia ora, Councillor Crawford. Just to confirm what councillors have just passed, councillors have passed the governance structure and its membership, with the exception of the Natural Resources Working Party and the Joint Climate Change Adaptation Committee. Both of those 2 membership and sharing of those committees to be workshopped further with the council, to be brought back to the 17th of December council meeting for a decision.
Okay, kia ora. Thank you. We are moving on to page 89 and item 7.2, which I am looking for a mover for both recommendations. Councillor McDonald, Councillor Kitchen is the seconder. Are there any questions?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I have one question, Mr. Chairman. As I was away in Niue, and they had a series of rolling power cuts, and I wasn't able to join you. So I have a question based on complete ignorance. Were there any amendments made to the existing standing orders as a result of that workshop? What we've been looking at today?
Chair, there's just the 4 bullet points that are in the paper there.
Oh, that's it? Okay.
Yes, those ones there.
Right. Thank you very much.
Last chance. Yep. I shall put the motions, now motions. All in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against? That is carried. Thank you very much. And we've all read fastidiously through the terms of reference, which will be reviewed by each of those committees anyway. We are up to Biosecurity Annual Report, page 186.
Happy to move, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councillor Crowe. Is there a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Moruna. Any questions or comment?
I'd just like to comment, Mr. Chairman, on and congratulate the team on a very, very busy year. It was like, I don't know, I've had 6 years here. I can't recall one as busy as this in terms of Kalerpa, Gold Clam, Hornets and BAU. So, yeah, I'd like to congratulate the team on a good effort, an amazing effort for the year and a good report. Thank you.
Okay. I shall put the motion. Or motions. All in favour say aye. Aye. Against? That is carried. We're up to 237 page, Quarterly Health and Safety Report. And I'm looking for a mover to the recommendation on that page, 237. Thank you, Councillor Carr. Councillor Hunt is the seconder. I did have a question myself. While I've read through the report, are we confident, CEO, that we've covered off our governance responsibilities as councillors, as a collective of councillors?
Good, Chair. Yes, I'm confident that as an incoming council, we've provided all of the briefings and information that councillors need to be aware of at this stage. Also noting that health and safety is a specific element of the audit and risk terms of reference, and deep dives into health and safety through that committee.
Right. Okay. Any other questions? Councillor McDonald?
Just a comment, actually, thank you, just to acknowledge the good work being done and the importance of this at this time of year. As we head into field season, we're going to have heaps of staff out there working around water and a lot of vehicles on the road. So just want to express support for the work that happens and the team that leads this, but it's actually all through the organisation at all levels, that leadership of health and safety. So really appreciate it, and hope everyone has a very safe summer, no wasp stings and things like that. Yeah, so thank you.
If I can just add, Chair, and thank you, Councillor McDonald, just to acknowledge that previous council has been very supportive of health and safety and have provided increased capacity and capability within the organisation. We do have a very operational focused organisation, which means that we do have a lot of people out in the field, and we do undertake some risky activities. So just to acknowledge that it is a focus for the organisation. We have done, we've undertaken a real focus on this over the last 3 years. And yes, similarly to Council McDonald's, it is coming into a busy operational period of the year where health and safety will be a focus for us.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, just on the report, the page 40, number incidents, quarter, whatever. And I'm just a summary on right at the top there, driving and speeding incidents. They seem very high. Have you got any report on that stuff? Why or where we're trending?
Yes.
Thanks, Chair. Thanks, Councillor Kitchen, for your question.
Mm.
We've encouraged greater reporting of driving incidents, and that includes such matters as near misses on the road from other vehicles. So that explains the increased incidents in the reporting in that section. And also minor scrapes and things and dents and things like that. And so that's reflected in the higher level of reporting. In terms of speeding incidents, it's encouraging that they are actually trending down, becoming fewer. And again, that's been due to the active work of the team to encourage people to actually maintain the speed limit, and it is monitored and reported.
It does, Bruce. So no concern at this stage. Thank you.
Yes, Councillor Blackwell.
I think Councillor Kitchener asked my question, but I do see the driving as a huge one at the very top. Speeding is pretty obvious what it is, but yeah, maybe a breakdown in the future might be quite good, because minor things and that's sort of not too concerned about, but yeah, miss is probably a worth reporting, I suppose, but where are the real issues with the driving? I don't know that.
Okay, I think we've exhausted the questions. Councillor Blackwell, you made your point. I'll put the motion. All in favour say aye.
Aye.
Yes, that's carried. We're up to page 244, Chair's report to Council. I'll get a mover for that, please.
I'll move.
Thank you, Councillor Carr.
I think the chairman should move his own report.
Not necessarily.
Okay, I'll second it.
Thank you, Councillor Blackwell. Any questions about the report, apart from the fact that the photos don't turn out that flash?
On your photos, right?
Yes.
Your name doesn't appear on the second one, and in the future, this might be lying around where most of us aren't here today. So you've got Paul Linton. Just thought your name should appear on that as well. It's on page 245.
Yeah, given how blurry the photo is, yeah, I agree.
Very nice report. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair.
I'll put the motion. All in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against? That's carried. Page 249 is item 8.3 and the CEO's report to Council.
Happy to move, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Kroll. Seconder, please. Councillor Morunga is the seconder. Going to highlight any particular points?
Kia ora, Chair. I did just want to highlight that we've got a different format to the CEO's report now. We've previously provided the CEO's report based on our organisation structure, so under the groups. We're now trialling providing it based around the strategic community outcomes that Council sets. So we're using the LTP community outcomes, and it's now a mix of groups. We thought that might be more meaningful for councillors. You guys set the strategic priorities for the organisation, and we've now grouped our activities underneath those community outcomes. For new councillors, I go through and provide just a highlight section at the front end of it. I'll just speak to the one at the start around our Rahui Tapu, our marine protected area. Just some really, really pleasing results there. Something that we are progressing in partnership with Hapu, and just really pleasing to see some environmental bounce back so quickly. But very happy to take any questions, Chair.
I have a question myself. Any questions from councillors? I'll take Councillor Blackwell first.
Always looking at the sewage. I think Waitera should get a prize, because I don't think they've ever not been a fully green in the 3 years. And it's a small community. I drive past. I believe we should give them a prize for that thing. But yeah, in all sincerity, they've all improved over the last 3 years. It's good to see. Thank you.
Yeah, Chair, just to double down on that if I can. I think it's the first time in our reporting that there's been no red for compliance in the last 3 months. So you just acknowledge Colin and his team for the work that they've been doing here.
Yeah.
And acknowledge the district councils for the work that they've been doing in that space as well.
Thank you. Councillor Carr.
Oh, through you to Colin Dale. Colin, how many of the wastewater treatment plants, part of the resource consent is the mirepoix to test for E. coli and the monitoring?
Can't give you the exact answer there, Councillor Carr, but most of them will have some form of bacteriological testing.
No. My question was human E. coli.
Human E. coli,
Yeah.
I can look into that and provide you an answer.
Yeah, I was asked by someone and I said, I will find out. So thank you. I've got another two little questions. That was on page 252. We're at 259, the yellow-legged hornet. Once again, we've got this problem. The evidence from France is the invasion is probably 100 k's per annum, fast moving, and MPI is asking people to tell them about it instead of saying, kill the blessed thing, take a photograph, give us a location. The word kill wants to be in it. Maybe use an aerosol spray bomb, whatever you like. But this thing is moving so fast, if you see it or suspect it, we want to kill it. And we should put that message out for Northland anyway. But MPI really want to be a bit bolder. Apparently they're a bit concerned that someone might get stung trying to kill it, but the effect of this particular hornet on our native and our productive bee populations is just absolutely serious. So that's a point. If it could be taken up, I'd appreciate it. And Mad Rag, if I zoom Mad Rag, can I find out how to control it? And it should come up really fast. You know, I've scratched around and at times I found some suggestions, but really when someone comes in and wants to identify it, they should be told how to spot spray it, how to actually broad spray it, if that's what they're going to do. And it should be there for them to action it. Because I've found it on our property, okay, no, my wife did, I say, so they told a lie there, and she actioned it, she pulled it out, and it's just cropping up everywhere. I see machinery moving down from the far north, harvest gear from forests and stuff like that, and I'm just wondering where they're going to and where they've come from. And we run a very good process for our logging, monitoring of logging, and one of the check boxes should be is there mad rag in the area that you're departing from, and what we should do about that. How do we clean the machine? It'll be bloody difficult to clean, but we should.
Councillor Coper, without going into too much detail, I think your point has been well and truly made. And your point was about making it a key message and getting that out there. I think your words were kill it. Is that right?
That's the message I heard, Chair. I wondered, Chair, whether you wanted an update from the GM biosecurity just on those two topics and what's being done.
Yeah.
Regarding the yellow-legged hornet, MPI's response has been focused on capturing the queens. It's important to capture them and for people to report it because they're trying to locate the nests. And without that, they can't. So they actually use a small tracking device to follow that queen back to the nest. And in an eradication program, it's very important to find that nest and eliminate it. So report it, yes. Report those wasps that you do think are yellow-legged hornets, and particularly nests. There's a lot of information on the MPI website about that, and our own website will link to it. we're hoping that the response will be successful, and their aim is eradication. In terms of the Madagascar ragwort, we can check our website again. There is how to control information on the website, but we'll check that again to make sure that herbicide information or other control techniques are up front and available for anybody who wishes to look in there.
Thank you. I'll go to Councillor Crawford in the first instance and then Councillor Crawl.
Thank you.
You're on mute, Councillor Crawford.
Oh, can you hear me right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it us?
Is it coming through?
We're the green lights.
Well, while we're trying to get you on, Councillor,
Okay.
we'll go to Councillor Crawl.
Yeah, thank you. Look, good question, Joe. You may have read the letter I wrote on behalf of Council 2 MPI about 3 weeks ago. It was actually written by Don and Nikki and whatnot, but anyway, great letter. Pointing out that we want sort confirmation that their aim is still eradication, and they've confirmed that this eradication. To me, this is MPI's MO all the time. Oh yes, we're very keen on eradication. We're not backed off from that, but their effort doesn't match their aim. So and then we'll find out, lo and behold, later on that they've failed. My view is that the aim is correct and that their technology is correct, but that their effort is not substantial enough. This 1 kilometre radius thing is enough. I think they should be going much wider. We got to the stage where Brad Windus was asking for us to have a regional buffer. I think it's much too premature to be talking about that, because if we suggested that, then that gives MPI an excuse to stop worrying about eradication, saying, well, you can protect your own border. I think we need to be hammering MPI to eradicate this thing from New Zealand while they've got an opportunity. This is just lava moth all over again and every other damn thing. But I think one of the things that Brad and others have raised is that the threat not only to humans, but the threat to honeybees and the threat to native bees. I mean, these things eat bees. That's their preferred food. So they are a major pest. In no way, there's a hornet up there looked identical to me, and it's been up there 2 years. And that's attacking, giving people nasty stings, but it's also affecting their bee industry, their honey industry as well. So, we probably don't have this on our own. But so I think that our mission regarding yellow-legged hornet is to just hold MPI's feet to the fire on this and demand more regular reports, and also tell them they should be putting more effort into slightly wider than Birkdale. They need to be, and not just relying on public responses. That's not enough. It's a recipe for failure. So that's the only comment I'll make on that.
We'll try you again. Thank you. We'll try you again, Councillor Crawford. Then I'll go next on the list.
All right. Can you hear me all right?
Still nothing.
Still nothing?
We're not hearing you at the moment.
I can hear you, Jeff. They can't hear you.
You can hear me?
I can hear you. They
The
can't.
green lights that used to be green and red have gone. Is that a change of?
Okay, I will carry on and
Through that, I'll go with my questions. We'll get to you, Councillor Crawford. Mine are, and this will show maybe my naivety, on page 254, second to bottom. In terms of the consent status, we have
So they're two different matters. Yes. So I understand with the water treatment plant that the Far North District Council has now been instructed by Tamara RY to take over that operation of that water treatment plant.
Yeah. One of the things that are very unclear to the public is who's responsible for what And so people are questioning me.
Yes.
And those things need, if we can be proactive in getting our messages out there, that'd be helpful. I won't be long, Councillor Crawford, so thank you very much.
That's right. I think it might be.
The other two are really comments. I was over at the Kaipara-Moana remediation, albeit briefly yesterday in Dargaville, and what is highlighted on page 257, in terms of, for instance, the fencing completed more than the distance from Cape Reinga to Wellington. It's significant. It's huge. So I wanted to highlight the great work done there. But one of the ones that I was less informed about, and I'm glad I read it carefully at the bottom of 257, was the MFE funded National River Water Quality Monitoring Project, coordinated by Te Uru Kahika. I say that because we are all asking ourselves the questions about belonging to a collective. And we take out the ruler to measure the value as opposed to the cost. So when you see some of those, I get a clearer picture. I'll speak for myself. Those were my comments about the CE's report. Over to you, Councillor Crawford. You're on a hat trick this time.
Okay, can you hear me this time?
Are you happy for me to play volume through my laptop?
Yeah, let's do it.
I just tried ringing him, but he doesn't have his phone with him.
Maybe put it on the chat, put his question on the chat.
Can you speak again, please, Jeff?
Okay. I'll leave.
Oh,
If you can hear,
we can hear you now.
You can hear me now?
Jeff, if you can hear me, can you call me on my phone? I'll just put
No,
you
I
on
can't because
speakerphone.
my phone is broken.
He doesn't have his phone.
But can you hear me now?
Well, we're in a sticky one here.
Okay, well, I'll leave.
But
I've sent my responses.
given that we're not having any luck with I'm going to move us on. Yes.
We've got 3 languages we can use. Why doesn't he use a third one? Sign language. So Jeff can hear us, can he? Sure.
I can hear you.
He can hear us and I can hear him. It's just something to do with the audio. We can, Callum has the opportunity, if you want to join for a minute, Callum can reset the room. Or Chair, if you push on, we can carry on.
No, I intend to push on. It's disappointing that the technology is not working so that we can hear Councillor Crawford, but we need to get on with the business.
Chair, if Councillor Crawford has any further questions, I'm happy to respond to them via email on the CE's report.
Were there any other questions? Sorry?
He's replied in the chat. I've sent my responses.
Tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Crawford. Yes, Councillor Kitchen.
Yeah, I've just got one other comment. Read the report, page 268. Severe weather event Southland. And Louisa, I see 6 of our staff responded down there to help out. So I think we as a council should, through you, Mr. Chair, thank them for the mihi they done down there. And it just shows what we can do up here. Major events, our team is always there. So you can pass on our thanks under the circumstances. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor McDonald.
Yeah, I just got a question. Thank you for the report, Jono. It's always awesome reading. So much good stuff in here. I've just got a question for Colin around the wastewater treatment plants. It's just a very high level answer, Colin, because I know there's a lot of detail in this. But I was just thinking about the changes that are happening with our district councils and the management of water, and just wondering if you can see any risks. We obviously have heaps and heaps and heaps of infrastructure which is needing a lot of maintenance and upgrade. Is there a risk that in that transition we have a period where things get a bit more neglected again? Or do you, just at a high level, are you really comfortable that that transition process is going to keep everything operating as best as possible through that change?
Yeah. At the moment, they're in that interim period where we've got a transitional, and I know the acting CEO of that organisation well and keep in touch. I'm confident that they are aware and they've actually advised that they will be considering compliance issue very seriously. It's one of their key performance indicators. So I have actually got some confidence there.
Okay. We may have, oh yes, councillor.
Oh, just a couple of minutes. First of all, I'd just like to follow up on Councillor Carr's question about Madrig. Just to get some clarity, do we have recommendations up on our website for spot spraying?
I believe we do. Okay, so sure. Yes.
It'd be nice if that be followed up, make sure they're quite clear, because obviously we want to put every tool at everyone's disposal. So, thank you. I've got three little bouquets to give out. I think the rut eradication, page 250, that is an amazing achievement. I mean, to eradicate a freshwater species of plant or animals is pretty hard work, and to do it in 5 years is an amazing result. So my thanks to the biodiversity team for achieving that. That is pretty special. When you look back after you've been in a job for a long time, it's those moments, those milestones that motivate you, and this is clearly a milestone. So well done. Secondly, I think we could, I don't know if we can pat ourselves on the back or whatever, but the 49% turnout at the late election was about a 6% improvement on previous. So I don't know who we should thank for that, or whether it's just something that happened, but it's a damn good result. Best in, I don't know, what, 20 odd years. So that's good. So I guess everyone collectively can take some sort of credit for that. Also, John and I were and Jono and Oriel were at the, Ruben were at the KMR meeting yesterday, Copper Mine Remediation yesterday, and their awards. And they were quite the event, really. And staff got a good, what's the word? Good praise for its, and the council generally got a good praise for its involvement in this extremely successful program. And of course, it also marked the farewell and resignation of the CE, who's moving on to Wellington. And so that was quite an event, really. So I just like us to take a little bit of pleasure in knowing that we're part of an extremely successful program. It's quite unique, really. So that's nice for us. But I do have one question for Colin. Your results on page 252 for compliance monitoring, the FDE is a bit high for significant non-compliance and moderate non-compliance. Is there any particular reasons for that?
Thank you, through the Chair. Councillor Craw, I think, as you were in previous seasons, that I'm always reluctant to put in too much, read too much into the information at this stage. I think it's, a little bit too early to say that if it's going to continue to trend that way. We'll wait and see, but I can follow up with the team if there's any particular issue that
I'm not most worried about the trends, I'm just worried about the causes.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's early to get an annual trend from this early in the season, but I mean, what were the general causes? Are we talking about overspill? Are we talking about pump failure? What are we talking about here?
So my understanding, and I don't think it's changed from previous years, that one of the issues has been about just that oversight and management of systems has been a key factor.
Yeah, to me that seems to be something that we can fix. I mean, if you've got serious rainfall events, well, that's something a little bit out of everybody's control, but maybe we need to be working in with Fonterra better, or working with the farmers better, or finding a means to get more serious oversight by the operators, because I mean, oversight by operators isn't really a good enough reason. I mean, no blame attached to staff, but I think we need to bring the whole thing to sharper focus. That's my view. Thank you.
On that basis, in case anyone's forgotten, the mover of the reception of the C's report was Councillor Craw, seconded by Councillor Morunga. I'm going to put the motion now. All in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against? Aye. That's carried. C, you'll be pleased to know that your report has elicited the most questions and a number of okays as well.
They always do.
I do want to make sure that I'm personally clear. For instance, Councillor Carr made a number of clear points. Councillor Crawford did, as did the other councillors. How are those all synthesized into our minutes and influence our approach?
Yes, Chair. Chris records our different actions down and we get an action track that is reported on.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm talking more about what Councillor Carr said about being very clear about our messaging and being proactive. As just one example, okay, it's one councillor's thinking and approach, and it's not a collective decision. I'm wondering where these comments are going.
Chair, where we get comments like that and it's in line with current council direction and it's something that we can easily do, we'll usually email back to the council and say, yes, thank you for this. This is what we've done in response to it. If there's something that's raised that may not necessarily be something that council's previously discussed at length and requires some further discussion, it'll be recorded, but it may well be that it comes back onto a further workshop topic for councillors to go and for councillors to provide that direction to staff as a collective as to what's the direction you want to do and what do you want us to action. It just depends on if it's closely aligned with current action, we can do it. If there's something that requires further discussion, we'll put it on a workshop topic.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want these pearls of wisdom to be lost in the general discussion. Okay, particularly when a councillor makes a comment, and I don't have to be an expert in body language to know that it's finding favour with the other councillors. So, okay. Sorry, we're moving on to quarterly people and culture report. It's page 273, and I'm looking for a mover to the recommendation.
So moved.
Thank you, Councillor Kidman. Seconder, please.
Happy to second that, Chair.
Kia ora, Councillor Blackwell. Any comments before? It's a very clear report.
I've just got one, it's again page 273, in relation to percentage of staff attending the training, and I see it averages of 11 up to 18%. What is that percentage of? What I'm saying is that percentage of the whole staff. So I look at September, right? 14.9% attended the training. Were 100% supposed to attend? Yes.
Chair, question. No, that just reflects the percentage of staff that have attended the training that's coordinated by our human resources team. I can see people have ultra 24 thank you for the training, and then that 18%, for example, of the organisation that's attended that training in that month, whatever that training may be.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Right. Councillor McDonald.
Sorry, thank you. That's a good question because I wasn't totally clear on that either. Thank you, Councillor Kitchen. I just wanted to comment that it's really exciting that the 2 E Te Ora scholarships have been completed and awarded. And I'm pretty sure I saw we have a time to meet our scholarship recipients. So that's just always a really positive and awesome opportunity for those who are awarded the scholarships, but also for the organisation to get all that fresh energy and new perspectives in. So just commending the team for the work that they do in that space and look forward to that. Thank you.
Certainly in regard to the annual planning, this report has an impact in terms of numbers, in terms of turnover, numbers of staff, I mean. I may have missed it in the report, but are exit interviews carried out? That's my question. Yes.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, we do undertake exit interviews. They're undertaken on a quarterly basis for staff.
Right. Okay. All right, well, I'll put the motion. Oh, yes.
Just a question, Bruce. You gave me some information on total headcount earlier, and that was 371 for 24-25, which seems to vary from the numbers in the report. I just wondered what that discrepancy was.
To go back and look at the information, John, I can't give you an answer right now, unfortunately, but I can go back and.
Okay, yeah,
Those two set of data.
Okay, it's very helpful. Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Right. I shall put this motion. All in favour say aye. Aye. Yes, that's carried. I've been very remiss. We really appreciate these reports. So Kayla, Shane and Jessica, thank you very much. We are up to item 8.5 on page 2. Yes, moved by Councillor Carr. To seconder. Thank you, Councillor McDonald. Any questions or comments on that one?
Yep, thank you, Chair. I thought it was a good opportunity to report that I attended the Lake Margaret Trust AGM on Saturday. It was made very welcome there, well received, and very well chaired by Hugh Curran, as you know. And I'd like to report that NIWA signed a memorandum of understanding with Lot Saturday. So that was quite a progressive thing. Lake Margaret is under the green algal collapse. It's gangbusters there at the moment, which is very unfortunate. And because of the downstream effects on the upper Hokianga harbour, say that it would be unsafe to keep fish there now. And we've got a role to play with that. The staff, the comment I got back was that was an FNDC role. So I contacted the community board chair, Jessie McVeigh, and asked her to take that up with FNDC. But yes, I thought this was probably the only opportunity I'd have to slot that one in. The trust really want to keep progressing what they're doing, working really hard, and my only suggestion I made to the chair was I want to do a robust risk analysis options. Now, I didn't make that at the meeting, I just made it in the car park. So, it's my observation.
Thank you for fronting on all of our behalf.
Just on that, and Ruben, if you don't have any update now, Kapai, Councillor Carr has asked the question, and staff are just looking into the data and what it's looking like, the trends for the summer. So happy to provide the response to that to all councillors if you'd all like to receive that information once we've got it together.
Here's the annual report too, which you can run a copy of.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Right, I'm going to put, yes, Councillor McDonald.
Yeah, just on page, so thank you for the report, page 285. Oh gosh, now I've lost myself. 3.3.1 in relation to Northland Inc. and the statement of intent. There's just some commentary there around the relationship with the transition to net zero carbon and how that was taken out of the statement of intent last term through the JRED process. So I guess just wondering if can we flag my interest and hopefully a collective interest to discuss that, because I assume we will have a process whereby this council looks at the draft statement of intent for Northland Inc. before JRED. Is that happening again?
Kia ora, Chair. We have in the past and would propose to continue that. We do present the draft or the proposal for the SOI for council, so that our council can provide some guidance to our two JRED members around so that would be the avenue and the opportunity. I'm looking at Bruce, but I don't believe we're looking at doing anything different to that. So we'll repeat that process again this time.
Okay. So just because councillor brains can be a little bit like sometimes, it'd be really good if there was just a note that somehow connects that to that workshop so that it can come back to the table. I just think we're going to have new membership on the JRED, and as a regional council, there's important things that we can bring to that discussion. So it'd just be good to have a fulsome discussion before that meeting.
Bruce, can we just note down so to make sure that when we come and workshop the SOI with council, that we highlight that we've got a KPI here that is currently not in the Northern Inc. SOI.
Thank you. Bye.
Well, I have a question myself. It relates to the comments made at the bottom of page 277 in the first instance about those on track, unknown, or not to be achieved. So when you take that and apply it to the top of page 285, there are three at the top of the top of the page in the table that say not achieved. I'm looking at the right-hand column coming down, unknown and unknown. Is there any particular comment or anything that we need to know as councillors about why that is so? Yes.
Thank you, Chair. The explanation as to the reason for the unknown is provided in the table. And if I can provide you an example on page 285, there's two unknowns there. One is the council contributing to a big infrastructure project, and the explanation there is no contribution has been made to date. But it's an explanation as to the potential opportunity to potentially achieve that. So we are working through and looking at where it's unknown, how can we potentially achieve these KPIs moving forward.
I understand that, and that's exactly what I referred to. If you look at the third one down, far right column, starts off by saying unknown, and then followed by the words, there is yet to be a conversation with Northland Inc. to finalise the action plan. Then it goes on to say, the team will meet with Northland Inc. before the end of 2025. Today is the 25th of November. So that tells me that things are not moving as fast as we would like them to. Is that a fair comment?
Kia ora, Chair. I think it is a fair comment that the regional economic development strategy is sitting there in limbo at the moment. And I think it is something that we need to focus on to make sure it isn't a strategy that ends up sitting on the shelf. One of the challenges, I think, has been that no local government nor Northland Inc. have actually allocated some dedicated resource towards implementation. Sorry, Bruce, I see your hands up if you wanted to add something to that.
And I'll just, reiterating that we'll go to JRED once JRED stood up. So Daryl was actively taking that to as soon as that government structure is in place.
Right, okay. Yes.
Maybe unknown could be a work in progress. You should understand?
Yeah.
Sometimes the categorisation of this. So.
Yes.
Sorry,
Yes, Councillor Blackwell.
Chair, on page 285, it talks about council contributing to at least one infrastructure project and support economic development in the region each year. Say they haven't got one. Just wouldn't mind a bit of information on the background of that, because it's a pretty important thing to do. I support economic growth. Also, I'd like to know where it's been in the past. Like, are we going to put most of it in Whangarei because that's where the big population is, or is it the best bang for buck might be the dams have done or other areas? And I just wouldn't mind a bit more history. I could see that at some stage.
Kia ora, Chair. Happy to provide some more history for council, and maybe we include it in a future workshop. We've previously, last year, for example, we took the achieved for this one because that was our financial contribution to the Kaitokato water scheme. Part of the challenge, I guess, of having a KPI of that nature is that we're not always in charge of the delivery of those large economic or infrastructure projects where are contributed towards it. So some of the ability for us to achieve that KPI is dependent on others as well. But yes, we can come back to council with some more detail on that.
But would you count the 50-metre swimming pool in Darwin as economic development? Or, it's nice for the town to have, it's nice for Northern to have, but it fits the box, does it? Or, some of the debate it probably wouldn't.
At the moment, based on the methodology that we've got, our contributions through the regional sports facilities rate, which is where that funding for that came from, isn't seen as meeting that requirement. Those are regional sports facilities. But also to a degree, it's up to council to set what the methodology is as to how we meet these KPIs. So there can be a discussion with council, but historically, no, we haven't seen allocation of that rate as meeting that KPI.
Thank you. Good question, all the same. I'm going to put the motion. All in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against? That's carried. We are up to receipt of committee minutes, of which there are 3, and it's on page 287, item 9.1, and I'm looking for a mover for all 3. Thank you, councillor McDonald.
Second.
Councillor Morunga is the second. Are there any comments, questions about those sets of minutes? There being none, all in favour say aye. Aye. Against? That's carried. 9.2, it's on page 305. And it is Working Party Updates Report.
I'm happy to move.
Thank you, councillor Crawl. Councillor Kitchen is the seconder. Any comment on any of those? Being none, all in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against? That's carried. We have now got to the part on our agenda, which is item 10 on page 307, business with the public excluded.